Hey everybody, this is Monolith, and this is me doing a Stream of Consciousness review of the Frost Death Knight going into Legion. Nothing scripted or any of that here, very casual. So, recently, as in yesterday as of recording, Blizzard sent in a hotfix that increased the effectiveness of Razor Eyes, Frost Enchant, which it's pretty severely increased the damage of 7 or 8 of their major abilities of Frost. So I was originally just going to ignore the class, or spec, until Legion came out because it was completely unviable. Like, there's no reason to ever go. Now, it's competitive DPS-wise. So, we're going to talk about it. It's actually not changed very much, I've noticed. Frost right now is almost identical to how it has been in Draenor, with, you know, the exceptions of like a couple retuned or rebalanced abilities, but the rotation for the most part is the same, which you cannot say about Unholy or Blood. One big change that I like, Remorseless Winter now, instead of it being this delayed AoE stun, it's just a DPS ability. You might call it a cooldown. 30-second cooldown. I just think that's an ability. I put it on my main action bar. You can talent it to still stun people, or at least slow them. I'm not 100% on the stun, actually. But I just found that interesting. There's the usual, Howling Blast spam on AoE. Do not have Death and Decay anymore, which is super big. Like, during this dungeon run in Blackrock Hold, I was just sitting here constantly trying to drop Death and Decays because I just was not used to not being able to. But I don't know, you get used to it. It plays really nicely, honestly. There's a talented ability you'll see me use later on in the dungeon called Frost Scythe. That is sort of a 1-rune obliterate that does about 75% of the damage of obliterate. So single target, it's not a DPS increase, but on cleave and AoE, it becomes a stupidly strong attack, right? So you can actually go from spamming Howling Blast and everything to spamming Frost Scythe on everything and just fucking tearing shit up. I had some Frost Scythes in here that did over 1 million damage, and my Frost weapons are bare minimum. I have not upgraded them at all. So, it's super fun. One cool thing you'll notice on a lot of these fights is I'll get Killing Machine procs, so my Obliterate will crit. And my Obliterate will give me the running power to Frost Strike, so I'll Frost Strike. And then Frost Strike will proc my runes back, because that's how Frost's regeneration works now. And the rune will come back and I can re-Obliterate and re-Frost Strike. And you just get this wave of like 8 to 12 seconds where you're just going, BAM! Obliterate. BAM! A Frost Strike. BAM! Obliterate. And it feels so nice. And then you'll get waves where you have downtime, right? Where we just like we got real unlucky with Frost Strike, no runes procced, and we're just sitting there waiting for 4 seconds. That sucks, but I mean, I don't actually think having a little downtime in a rotation is the bad thing. I think it can help people like get back in their mind if they started to like zone out of raid mechanics. I'm actually okay with that. The one real big bad thing that I don't like about Frost, though, defensively, they have AMS and IBF, which Unholy has as well, and they work the exact same way. You can talent AMS to make it a little weird, but it's the same ability. Wraithwalk, though, for Frost is real bad. Unholy's Wraithwalk will more often than not have a 30-second cooldown and a 4.5-second duration. Frost Wraithwalk, 45-second cooldown and a 3-second duration, and that's a huge difference, and that's going to severely impact raid viability on a lot of fights. Mobility is already enough of a problem for DKs. Frost having the same mobility as Blood without the defensive capabilities is going to be a big deal. But, I mean, maybe it'll be changed. Maybe Frost will do enough damage to compensate. I don't know yet, but in this run, I'm on a leveled DK, by the way. I'm not using a boosted one. So I don't, and like I said, I leveled as Unholy and Blood. My Frost weapons are completely unupgraded. That's why my DPS is so low compared to the rest on the single target. AoE right now, I'm using pure single target abilities. My AoE damage is going to be crap. But yeah, my Frost weapons are 750. My Unholy weapon is like 819. Huge difference. I have no artifact abilities or anything on it. But the artifact ability that you get with Frost is a passive that makes icicles spawn and then hit the target. Like, that's real weird, Blizzard. Real weird. I don't know. It's not fun. There's no gameplay involved at all. And it's just, I don't know. It's not interesting. There's no gameplay mechanic to it at all. With Unholies yeah, just definitely Unholies. Like, you summon a bunch of ads, you hit for like 1,000,000 damage. It's awesome. It's super fun. It just feels rewarding. Bloods, if you've taken damage, feels rewarding. If you haven't, it's just another DPS button. But Frost, like, you get an artifact ability for Frost called Sindragosa's Fury, where you literally summon a dragon to breathe ice down on your enemies and slow them. That is so badass, but it's not the artifact ability, it's a trait in the artifact tree. That is a huge misstep on Blizzard's part. They should have taken Sindragosa's Fury and swapped it with the passive shit that we have now. That would have made the spec much more fun and interesting, and a lot more people would have picked it. But that being all that said, it's not bad. I actually enjoyed the spec. I'm definitely probably going to be leveling Unholy as my primary DPS spec going into Legion, but I do enjoy Frost, and I didn't expect to, because historically I never have. It's always just felt so boring to me. But the new playstyle, quote-unquote new, just the tuning they've done to it, because dual wield Frost was never actually something they balanced for before. The fact that they focused on it, and they've really just gone hog wild on it, and they've tuned it so precisely, I think they could go a long way towards fixing the problems it's had in the past, such as scaling. But I am worried, like, once we start getting gear, if we start getting a lot of haste, this spec is going to be driving people crazy if they play it, because your runes are going to be up so much that you're not going to be able to keep them all down, and your fingers are going to go numb trying to hit all the damn buttons. But, I mean, first world problems, right? Yeah, I enjoyed the spec. I do miss Army of the Dead. Oh, I wanted to talk about, Obliteration. They have a talented cooldown now that you're pretty much always going to want to take, just because you're going to want to take. You may not always end up doing it. But for 8 seconds, anytime you Frost Strike, you gain a Killing Machine proc. So you build 50 runic power, and then you pop Obliteration, hit Frost Strike, then you get a crit Obliterate. Frost Strike, crit Obliterate. Frost Strike, crit Obliterate. Right now, with the current gear levels, you can get 3 crit Obliterates in 8 seconds on the pull. That's acceptable burst. It's not good burst. It's acceptable burst. It's not even close to comparing to the burst Unholy does. But it at least is something. Pillar of Frost is pretty much the same it's always been. It's just a strength increase. It has a very, very short cooldown now, in effect, because one of your major talents that you'll pick more often than not reduces its cooldown constantly. So you're going to use Pillar of Frost on a 5-minute fight maybe 4 times. It's pretty crazy. The Sindragosa's Fury, by the way, 5-minute cooldown. So that thing needs to hit real fucking hard to be worth it. Oh, I'm forgetting something. I'm forgetting something moderately important. Deathstrike, by the way, actually heals for a lot. If you're ever in a real bad situation in a raid where your healer just dies and you're like, oh god, the boss's random AoE crap is going to kill me, you can actually Deathstrike and heal yourself up pretty damn well. That's kind of nice. The weapons look pretty cool. Transmog is great for Frost, always has been. I don't know, guys. That's pretty much all I've got for it right now, all off the top of my head. Like I said, nothing scripted, just me getting my thoughts out there. Let me know what you think. Alright guys, peace out.